Did you know that some of the vegetables sitting in your kitchen, ones you probably thought were always healthy, might actually be slowly stealing strength from your bones? After age 60, bones naturally become thinner, more fragile, and slower to repair themselves. That's why doctors worry about osteoporosis and fractures in seniors. But here's the surprising part. Even if you eat plenty of vegetables, some of them contain natural compounds that actually block your body from absorbing calcium and key minerals. In other words, while you're eating them for health, they might quietly be working against your bones. Now, don't get me wrong, vegetables are essential. They give us fiber, vitamins, antioxidants, all the good stuff. But not all vegetables are equal when it comes to bone health. Some strengthen your skeleton like bricks and mortar. Others act like termites, chipping away at the foundation without you even noticing. So here's the big question. Which ones are the termites and which are the bricks? That's exactly what this video will reveal. We'll cover the 4 worst vegetables for bones after age 60, and then I'll show you the 4 best vegetables that science says can actually make bones stronger. By the end, you'll have a clear roadmap, what to avoid or limit, and what to eat more often, so that every meal becomes a step towards stronger bones, fewer fractures, and more freedom to move without fear. Imagine getting out of bed without that ache in your hips, bending down to play with your grandkids, without worrying about your knees, or going for a walk without feeling fragile. That's the future you can start building today, just by being smarter about the vegetables on your plate. And don't worry, we're not here to make you cut out every food you love. I'll explain why some vegetables are risky, how much is too much, and what simple swaps you can make. Small steps, big results. So if you're over 60, grab a pen and maybe even open your fridge in your mind. You might discover that one of your healthy favorites is on the worst list. But don't panic. The good news is that you'll also discover 4 bone-boosting vegetables you can enjoy every single day. Stay tuned, because the list might surprise you. We've all been told the same advice since childhood. Eat your vegetables, they're always good for you. And most of the time, that's true. Vegetables provide vitamins, fiber, and antioxidants that are vital for health at every age. But here's the little-known truth. When it comes to bone strength after 60, not all vegetables are your friends. In fact, some of the very ones that people often consider superfoods can quietly interfere with your body's ability to absorb calcium, leaving your bones more fragile over time. The reason comes down to something called oxalates. You can think of oxalates as tiny handcuffs in certain plants. When you eat a high oxalate vegetable, those handcuffs grab onto calcium in your stomach. Instead of letting calcium enter your bloodstream and do its job strengthening your bones, oxalates lock it away and your body simply flushes it out. That might not matter much to younger people. But after 60 IO2, when bone density naturally declines, losing calcium absorption is like pouring water into a bucket full of holes. Every bit you lose makes a difference. So, which vegetables are the biggest culprits? The first is spinach. Popeye may have built his muscles with spinach, but when it comes to bones, it's not the hero we once believed. Spinach is loaded with oxalates, which means the calcium in the spinach itself, and even the calcium in other foods you eat with, it often doesn't reach your bones. For example, you might enjoy spinach with cheese, thinking the calcium from the cheese will help. But much of it will bind to the oxalates and pass right through you. Spinach is still nutritious, but relying on it as your main green for bone health is not the best choice. Next up are beet greens, the leafy tops of beets. Many health-conscious people keep these thinking they're adding an extra dose of nutrition, and they are, but they also come with a heavy oxalate load. Eating beet greens regularly, especially in large portions, may mean you're unintentionally blocking the very calcium your bones need to stay strong. The third vegetable to watch out for is Swiss chard. With its bright colors, It often shows up in recipes for healthy diets, but it carries the same problem as spinach and beet greens. Too many oxalates. Eating it raw makes the effect stronger, reducing calcium absorption even further. Over time, that can contribute to thinner bones and higher risk of fractures. Finally, there's rhubarb. It looks harmless and is often used in pies or compotes, but rhubarb is one of the most oxalate-rich vegetables you can eat. Nutrition experts often use it as the textbook example of a calcium-blocking food. Occasional rhubarb isn't harmful, but if it shows up regularly in your diet, it works against your bone health. Now, this doesn't mean you should fear these vegetables or throw them away. They still contain fiber, vitamins, and other benefits. The key is moderation and preparation. Cooking methods like boiling can reduce oxalates significantly, especially in spinach and Swiss chard. Pairing smaller amounts with low oxalate vegetables, like lettuce or kale, balances things out. And most importantly, rotating your vegetables ensures you're not overloading your system with calcium-blocking compounds week after week. Think of your bones as the foundation of your house. Over the years, small cracks appear naturally. If you keep adding pressure in the wrong way, those cracks spread. But if you make smart adjustments by limiting these high oxalate vegetables, you prevent the cracks from getting worse and give your bones the support they need. So here's a simple action you can take today. Check your fridge. Do you see spinach, beet greens, Swiss chard, or rhubarb sitting there? If yes, don't panic. Just remind yourself not to eat them every day. And don't rely on them as your main source of greens. Instead, balance them with bone-friendly vegetables, the ones we'll cover in the next section. Because just as there are vegetables that quietly weaken your bones, there are others that actively build them stronger. And when you know which is which, every meal becomes a chance to protect your independence, your mobility, and your confidence as you age. The next part of this video will reveal the 4 best vegetables for your bones after 60, and one of them might already be waiting in your fridge. The 4 best vegetables for bones. If some vegetables quietly weaken your bones, the good news is that others do exactly the opposite. These are the vegetables that act like builders, supplying your skeleton with the raw materials it needs to stay strong, flexible, and resilient even after 60. The difference lies in their nutrient profile. While high oxalate vegetables block calcium, these bone-friendly vegetables are rich in calcium, magnesium, and vitamin K, the 3 nutrients your bones crave most. The first vegetable you'll want on your plate is kale. Unlike spinach or chard, kale is low in oxalates, which means the calcium it contains is highly absorbable. Just 1 cup of cooked kale provides as much calcium as a small glass of milk, but without the calcium handcuffs. Kale is also loaded with vitamin K, which plays a key role in directing calcium into your bones instead of letting it drift into soft tissues where it doesn't belong. In fact, research shows that people who get enough vitamin K from leafy greens, like kale, have a lower risk of fractures as they age. The best part, kale can be used in so many ways: steamed, added to soups, or even baked into crunchy chips. Next is broccoli, another powerhouse for bone health. Broccoli contains calcium, magnesium, and vitamin C, which together help your body not only strengthen bones, but also maintain the collagen framework that gives bones flexibility. Think of calcium as the bricks, magnesium as the mortar, and vitamin C as the scaffolding that holds everything together. Broccoli delivers all 3. Plus, it's easy to digest and naturally low in oxalates, so your body can actually use the nutrients it offers. For seniors, this makes broccoli one of the safest, most reliable vegetables to support bone strength. Third on the list is bok choy, sometimes called Chinese cabbage. Bok choy is especially bone-friendly because it contains highly absorbable calcium, along with potassium, which helps keep bones from losing too much calcium through urine. What makes bok choy stand out is its gentle flavor and easy cooking style. It softens quickly in a stir-fry or soup, making it a versatile addition to meals. For anyone who struggles with dairy or doesn't enjoy kale's stronger taste, Bok choy is an excellent, senior-friendly option. The fourth vegetable you should eat more often is collard greens. Like kale, collards are part of the Brassica family and are naturally rich in calcium and vitamin K. They also have a unique advantage. They provide a steady source of magnesium, a mineral that often gets overlooked, but is just as important for bone density as calcium. Magnesium helps activate vitamin D, which in turn improves calcium absorption. Without enough magnesium, your bones can't use calcium efficiently. Collard greens, especially when cooked slowly, become tender and tasty, making them easy to add as a side dish a few times per week. Now imagine what happens if these vegetables become a regular part of your diet. Instead of unknowingly blocking calcium with high oxalate greens, you're feeding your body exactly what it needs to rebuild and repair bone tissue. You're stacking the odds in your favor: fewer fractures, more confidence when walking, and greater independence in daily life. The beauty here is that you don't need complicated recipes or expensive supplements. Just rotating these vegetables into your meals 2 or 3 times a week can make a noticeable difference over time. For example, you might swap your daily spinach salad for kale a few days per week, or instead of rhubarb pie, add a side of steamed broccoli with dinner. Small changes like these add up, giving your bones the nutrients they've been waiting for. And here's something encouraging: your bones respond to nutrition at any age. Even after 60s, your skeleton is still a living tissue. It constantly breaks down and rebuilds itself in a process called remodeling. By eating more of these bone-building vegetables, you're giving that rebuilding process the fuel it needs. It's never too late to start. So, as you look at your grocery list this week, remember the 4 vegetables that work for your bones, not against them: kale, broccoli, bok choy, and collard greens. Each one delivers calcium in a form your body can actually absorb, plus the supporting nutrients that make that calcium count. And by choosing these, you're not just filling your plate, you're investing in a stronger, more confident version of yourself. Stay with me, because in the next section we'll go one step deeper. I'll show you how these nutrients actually work inside your body, and why they make such a powerful difference for bone strength after 60 shows. Once you understand that, you'll feel even more motivated to make these foods a regular part of your life. How these vegetables work inside your body. When we talk about vegetables building bones, it can sound a little abstract. After all, you can't actually see your bones getting stronger, but inside your body, something remarkable is happening every single day. Even after age 60, your bones are not dead structures, they are living tissue, constantly breaking down and rebuilding themselves in a process called remodeling. Think of your bones like a construction site. Old bone cells are being cleared away, and new bone cells are laid down in their place. To do this well, your body needs the right building materials. Without them, the workers can't finish the job, and your bones become thinner and more fragile. With them, your bones stay dense, flexible, and ready to support you. So how do bone-friendly vegetables fit into this process? Let's take it step by step. Calcium is the most obvious building block. It's like the bricks in your skeleton. Vegetables like kale, broccoli, bok choy, and collard greens provide calcium in a form that's easy to absorb. Because they're low in oxalates, that means the calcium you eat actually reaches your bloodstream, where it can be delivered straight into bone tissue. But calcium alone isn't enough. That's where vitamin K comes in. Vitamin K works like the foreman on the construction site. It directs calcium to the right place. Without enough vitamin K, calcium can end up in soft tissues, like arteries, instead of strengthening bones. Leafy greens are some of the richest natural sources of vitamin K, making them essential for bone remodeling. Then there's magnesium, another overlooked hero. If calcium is the brick, magnesium is the mortar that holds those bricks together. Magnesium helps activate vitamin D, and vitamin D is what allows your intestines to pull calcium from food into the bloodstream. Without magnesium, vitamin D can't do its job properly, and calcium absorption stalls. Vegetables like collard greens quietly supply this missing piece, ensuring the bone-building chain works smoothly. Finally, vitamin C deserves attention. Found in broccoli, vitamin C is crucial for making collagen, the flexible protein framework inside your bones. Collagen gives bones their resilience. Without it, bones become brittle, like chalk. With enough vitamin C, your bones remain strong but also slightly flexible, reducing the risk of fractures from small falls. Put it all together, and here's the picture. When you eat the right vegetables, calcium enters your body freely. Vitamin K directs it to your bones. Magnesium makes sure it's absorbed effectively. And vitamin C keeps the whole structure flexible and durable. It's like having the perfect construction team working around the clock to maintain your skeleton. The beauty of this process is that it never really stops. Even in your 60s, 70s, or 80s, your bones continue to remodel. Yes, the pace slows with age, but the building still happens. That means it's never too late to make a difference. Every time you add kale to your soup or steam a plate of broccoli, you're feeding that construction crew. You're giving your body the exact tools it needs to repair, rebuild, and keep you moving with confidence. So, when you think about bone health, don't just think about pills or supplements. Remember that every bite of the right vegetables can literally become part of your bones. The food on your plate today shapes the strength of your skeleton tomorrow. And in the next section, we'll tie it all together with a simple action plan. How to combine these vegetables with lifestyle habits like exercise and vitamin D, so you're not just eating for stronger bones, but living for stronger bones. If this video is opening your eyes, take just a second to show your support. A quick like really helps this channel reach more people who want simple, science-backed health tips after 60. And I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me, which of these vegetables surprised you the most so far? Was it spinach, rhubarb, or maybe collard greens on the positive side? Your feedback not only helps me, it also helps other viewers who are on the same journey to stronger bones. And of course, if you haven't already, make sure to hit subscribe to Senior Wellness. That way, you'll never miss the next video, where we keep breaking down health advice into clear, practical steps you can use every day. All right, let's get back to it because now it's time to put everything together into an easy action plan you can start using today. Now that you know which vegetables can weaken bones and which ones can strengthen them, the real question is, how do you put this knowledge into practice every day? The answer isn't about perfection or complicated diets. It's about building simple habits that consistently give your bones what they need. Let's walk through a clear action plan. Step 1. Rotate your greens. Instead of eating the same vegetable every single day, aim for variety. If spinach or Swiss chard has been your go-to, reduce the frequency to once or twice a week and balance it with kale, broccoli, bok choy, or collard greens on the other days. That way, you're cutting down oxalates while increasing bone-friendly nutrients. Think of it like rotating crops in a garden. It keeps the soil healthy. And in this case, it keeps your bones nourished. Step 2. Cook smart. The way you prepare vegetables can make a huge difference. Boiling high oxalate vegetables like spinach for just a few minutes can cut oxalate levels by nearly half. Steaming broccoli or bok choy preserves their vitamin C and K content. Gentle cooking methods are senior-friendly. They are easier to chew, digest, and they protect nutrients. Step 3. Pair with protein. Your bones aren't just made of minerals, they're also made of collagen, which comes from protein. Combining your bone-friendly vegetables with lean protein sources like fish, chicken, beans, or tofu gives your skeleton both the minerals and the structure it needs. For example, a simple stir-fry of bok choy with chicken is more than just dinner. It's a bone-building meal. Step 4. Don't forget vitamin D. Calcium and vitamin K can't work properly without vitamin D, which acts like the key that unlocks absorption. Sunlight is the most natural source, so aim for 10 to 15 minutes of gentle sun exposure a few times per week. If that's not possible, talk to your doctor about safe vitamin D options. Pairing vitamin D with your vegetables creates a complete support system for bone remodeling. Step 5. Move your body. Nutrition is only half the story. your bones also respond to stress in a positive way. Weight-bearing exercises, like walking, light resistance training, or even climbing stairs, send signals to your bones to become denser and stronger. Think of it as giving your skeleton a reason to stay solid. Combining movement with the right vegetables is like doubling your investment. Finally, step 6. Make it enjoyable. The best plan is the one you can stick to. If you enjoy kale chips, broccoli soup, or a bok choy stir-fry, you'll naturally keep eating them. Explore recipes that fit your taste. Season them with herbs and spices, and make them part of meals you look forward to. Strong bones are built not just with nutrients, but with consistency, and consistency comes from enjoyment. So, your action plan is simple. Rotate your greens, cook smart, pair them with protein, get your vitamin D, move your body, and make the process enjoyable. Each of these steps builds on the others. Together, they form a lifestyle that supports bone health day after day. Remember, you don't need to change everything overnight. Even one small change like swapping spinach for kale twice a week can start moving you in the right direction. Over time, those small changes add up, giving you stronger bones, fewer worries about fractures, and more freedom to live life on your terms. And if you're wondering about common myths and confusions around bone health, like whether spinach is always bad, or if dairy is the only source of calcium, stay with me, because that's exactly what we'll clear up next. Before we finish, let's clear up some of the biggest misunderstandings about vegetables and bone health, because I know many of you may be wondering about them right now. First, spinach. Many people ask, does this mean spinach is bad for me after 60? The answer is no. Spinach is not harmful. It's full of vitamins, fiber, and antioxidants. The only issue is that its oxalates block calcium absorption. So, you don't need to cut it out forever. You just need to avoid depending on it as your main vegetable. For bone strength, enjoy it occasionally, and balance it with low oxalate greens like kale or bok choy. Another common belief is that dairy is the only way to build strong bones. That's simply not true. While dairy does provide calcium, vegetables offer a package deal: highly absorbable calcium, vitamin K, magnesium, and vitamin C, all of which work together to build and protect bones. So, even if you don't drink milk or eat cheese, you can still have strong, healthy bones through the right vegetables and lifestyle habits. Then there's the worry that cooking vegetables destroys all their nutrients. In reality, cooking changes nutrients, but it doesn't erase them. In fact, boiling spinach or chard lowers oxalates, making calcium easier to absorb. Steaming broccoli helps preserve its vitamins. The trick is variety, mixing raw and cooked vegetables to get the best of both worlds. And finally, some people ask, isn't it too late for me? I'm already in my 70s. The truth is, it's never too late. Bone remodeling never stops. Even as we age, progress may be slower, but your bones always respond to the care you give them. Every smart choice, whether it's adding kale to dinner or walking a little more still, makes a difference. So don't fear vegetables, don't chase perfection, and don't believe it's too late. Your bones are still listening to the choices you make today. So let's bring it all together. We've seen that not all vegetables are equal when it comes to bone health. Spinach, beet greens, Swiss chard, and rhubarb, though healthy in some ways, can quietly block your body from absorbing calcium. On the other hand, kale, broccoli, bok choy, and collard greens provide calcium, vitamin K, magnesium, and vitamin C forms your body can actually use to build stronger bones. The takeaway is simple. Rotate your greens, favor the bone builders, and prepare your meals in ways that protect nutrients. Even small changes like swapping spinach for kale a couple of times a week can add up to stronger bones, fewer fractures, and more freedom to live life on your terms. If you found this video helpful, give it a like, subscribe to Senior Wellness, and share your biggest takeaway in the comments. Let's keep building healthier routines together, one smart choice at a time.